Man, I tell you, every time without fail, I always try to find like a fun way I want to say to get these episodes started out properly. But what are you gonna do? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Connor. This is Connor Talks Games, and today, recently, as some of you may or may not know, I've been working on my backlog a little bit, recently. I still got Okami there somewhere, and I'm kind of getting through it, but I'm being a little bit, kind of dancing around the bush with it. And, at least as of recording this, I've gotten back from the, 2026 Clark IDGA Clark Fest Expo, which was a lot of fun as well. Met some really fun people there. Talked with a couple of devs that I met from PAX, which was really funny. Specifically, like the Murdier folks. Josh, if you're listening to this, I can't say how funny it was to just be like, "Wait, I recognized you from PAX." It was like what's like a good way to think about it? If you ever play Pokemon, how you walk past a person, like an enemy trainer, and then an exclamation mark goes over their head and they make the little face and they're like, I want to battle you. I never played Pokemon before, but that was like the first thing that came into my head. The other thing was, hey, you're finally awake. Got trying to cross the border, huh? We met the folks from Normal Horse Games, which was pretty fun. Very nice folks. Highly recommend checking out their game Nocturnum, as I mentioned last time. But let's kind of talk a little bit about what I've been playing. So at the Game Awards, there was this little number called Lords of the Fallen 2, which got announced in consideration with the other thing. Now, the developers over at Hexworks, this is actually not the second game in the series. This would technically be the third. So, bit of context. Lords of the Fallen 2014 came out, and that was the first one that they released. I will not lie, it is a Souls-like, and it was not that good. It was kind of hot dookie. The second one came out in 2023, and that's sort of the one that everyone more or less knows. That's kind of moving around and operating and whatnot. So that's the one that I played, and I got it when it was on sale after not PAX, the Game Awards, excuse me, because they just did their final update on it, and it was like a big old quality of life thing. Now, I've never touched the game up until this point because I remember when it launched back in 23, there was a lot of criticisms with the combat, the movement, the weapon style. It's just not exactly the craziest experience, and it kind of just got thrown out the window. Now, in this new sort of game, it looks like they're adding a lot of new base mechanics, classic dismemberment. There's it looks like the multiplayer is getting a little bit more seamlessly done. And then on top of that, it looks like they're just 100% going ape shit on the combat, which I really like. One of the things that I've always enjoyed in a game is brutal combat, which is why I was like kind of mildly let down by Lords of the Fallen 2023. Kind of mostly because it's just I was expecting something a little bit more I don't know, violent. Don't get me wrong, like the world itself is pretty good. All right, I'm yapping a little bit. Let's kind of get into it. So I beat the game around today, a couple hours ago actually, and I got one of the endings you can get, the Radiant one, which is just like the default cleanse the beacons. I think what we'll do is we'll split this down the middle between what I liked and what I didn't like. So let's start out with kind of just what I liked. I like the world. It has a lot of themes that I genuinely like in a setting. It's dark. It's a grimdark fantasy. The world is in turmoil as the Rogar invade Morinstead, which is the main location the game takes place in. A holy order of dark crusaders, which are like these dark kind of knights that walk in the shadow. So, like, if the Hallowed Sentinels are considered to be the light of the Order of Orin, which is like kind of the group that you're associated with at the start that gives you your power, then the Dark Crusaders are more or less the people that walk in the dark and enact the will, but from the the shadows effectively. And the way they do that is they have a lamp, a umbral lamp. Umbral is a it's like a space that is the realm of the dead effectively, and the power you draw from there is what you use to kind of do a lot of your abilities in the game. So the game is split in two different worlds. So there's like just like the normal overworld in which you're going around doing stuff. But sometimes you'll need to cross into the spirit world. And how you do that is you take your lamp and you just kind of like insert yourself like a model or a PNG into it. And you kind of just go around a little bit and you look. But what's interesting is so kind of like a traditional Souls game, you die, you come back, boohoo, all that stuff. In Lords of the Fallen, if you die in the normal world, you can come back in the spirit world. And every bit of damage you take in the spirit world is like kind of like the rally mechanic in Bloodborne, in which you can immediately hit the target and get your health back. So there's like this really cool build I had where you can slot in specific things into your lamp to activate certain abilities. So I had it to where I had unlimited posture during my heavy attacks because I was a great sword user, a grand sword, specifically the sword of skin and teeth, because you know me, big blade go burr and I want to hit a thing. I usually like to go melee builds in my Souls games, but what I like is the game actively encourages you to split between both the spirit world and the normal world. Because in the spirit world, you get not only more souls per kill, but it unlocks new pathways and you get health back easier. But if you die, you die. However, in the overworld, you die, you get sent to the spirit world, and vice versa. But what's really neat about it is the longer you stay in the spirit world, the more likely enemies are going to spawn and take notice because you're an intruder that doesn't belong there. And there's like this little indicator in the form of an eyeball that's open to show that things see you, they know you're there, and the more powers you use increases the multipliers until eventually you get hunted down by this like Grim Reaper-esque creature that really it's really hard to kill, but if you murder it, you get a really good reward out of it. It's like a shit ton of souls and upgrade for your lamp. But it's pretty as far as like the Souls-esque games are concerned, this one is actually of the higher quality. It's not like amazing like Liza P worth, but I would say it's good. It's a decent one. It's on that. Definitely worth a look if it's on sale for people who are interested and they want to kind of sink their teeth into something a little different. The magic system is probably the best I've seen in a Souls like. I mean honestly, there's two different main so there's three separate sort of major spell classifications. There's your umbral, which is like this soul magic that allows you to buff your weapons to do certain things. Like all like the things have certain spells and applications, but it's like umbral is more I want to utilize the dark realm of souls to kind of hit targets. Inferno is you're quite literally using the power of a fallen god to cast heretical flames on a target or do things that are kind of in that territory. And Radiant's kind of more traditionally what you would associate with like miracles from Dark Souls or just like the holy light magic. Status effects are also very funny in this game. It's not like some other games, but it's pretty much like so Smite, for instance, is not a damage over time. It is if that bar fills up, God smites your ass with a lightning bolt, and 2 seconds later you have vulnerability to smite-based damage. And you can apply that to enemies too. Like there are a couple of builds and rings. Oh yeah, there's rings and pendants too, which all have different things that actively encourage you to lean into your build and or magic. So build variety is 100% there. Like it's split between ranged and melee combat. So you have your melee weapon in one hand, but if you swap the to the D-pad, at least when I was playing on it, it will pull up a weapon that you have that's a ranged option. And you know the best part about it? You don't even need a crossbow or bow or any of that. There's a wide variety of just normal handheld thrown options like grenades and hammers and axes. Like I remember in my playthrough, on top of being like, the big burly guy who just swings through attacks, I would just take a hammer. That was my ranged weapon, and I'd huck it at you. That's actually how I beat the Spurn Progeny, which is not exactly my favorite boss encounter. But we'll get around to that in a minute. So it's fun in that respect, and I really do enjoy. I've always been a fan of pyromancy builds in baseline Souls games. So that was just a really big thing. Like actually shit to get off track a little bit, Elden Ring. Giant's Flame. I love that shit. It's like Night Rain, it's one of my go-to things that I love to use, but yeah, that's my 27 cents on that front. I did mention it, but I've always been a fan of hopeless encounters in settings. I'm a massive Warhammer fan, so naturally, the number one thing that I always enjoy is when, the world obviously isn't going to recover, or if it does, you're just prolonging the inevitable. To kind of, I guess this is my thoughts on it, so I guess spoiler disclaimer at the mark here, but so there's a guy called Adir the Brotherhood Exile, and he's the final boss of the game. Now, Adir's entire shtick is that he created humanity, and as a result of that, he got a little power hungry and obsessed with it, and thought that, hey, you guys are my creations. I can do whatever I want with you. Orin said, no, that's bad. I don't like that. And he banished Adir through like a coup or something between the three gods, but they couldn't kill him. That was the thing. So he ends up creating these like demon creatures called the Rogar, which end up attempting to beat the god's disciples, Orins, and obviously the humans that sided with them. That didn't work out. And as a result, he got banished, and the beacons were put in place to keep him away. In the, like, when you get to the end, throughout the entire fight, he is talking to you, and he's like, is it really so wrong to want to lead my creations once again? All I ever wanted was to return home. And on a level, I can kind of sympathize with that. I mean, the guy was ousted, even though he was power hungry, and he was basically forced to sit in solitary confinement for thousands of years. That would probably cause anybody within reason to go ape shit. And honestly, I can't blame them. That would uh that would probably cause me to go ape shit as well. I mean, seriously, can you imagine being locked inside of a Taco Bell bathroom for God who knows how long? Eek. But it was pretty neat. The I also I so I didn't do every single one, but some of the side stories were actually kind of investing. So one other example, spoiler disclaimers are off now, by the way, but one of the guys you meet in the game in like the first like 20 seconds or so, actually, when you awaken and you're kind of like going around doing stuff. I'm trying to remember his name. It's like the Iron, I think Iron. Hold on. Fuck, I got it. The Iron Wayfarer. That was his name. This dude who shows up, who's like, oh, look, another lamp bearer. Well, shit, what are you gonna do? He don't know who he is. You have no idea why he's there, but he only ever appears in the spirit realm, and you can talk to him. And every single time, it's heavily alluded to that he's something happened. You don't know what, but some fucked up shit caused him to be very bitter and resentful. Funny thing is, you could summon him during the like first boss in the game against Pieta, 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 I think her name was. Who love her armor, by the way. It's really sick. You use her blood to heal yourself. That's actually the other funny thing. So something that I think is a little funny is one of the bosses you kill, the first one in the game, she ends up becoming your ally, and she allows you to use her blood to upgrade your healing item. which I thought was pretty neat. But yeah, no, I mean, like overall, I like the weapon variety. The magic's pretty good. I was invested in some of like the side content stories wise, and the amount of quality of life changes they've done to the game is truly amazing, and it's really neat. Oh yeah, and the other thing is, you can play the game with a friend if they own it. So Lords of the Fallen has a thing where there is like other Souls games, you can invade players. We'll get to that, and there's also co-op, but the co-op can be played if one person does not own the game because they just play off of the other individual. You get your progress saved and everything. It's like a really neat way to trial for the game. If they really like it, they buy it, they can play on their own time. Now, let's kind of talk about the things that I didn't like. This shit's janky. And no, I don't mean like bugs. There were bugs here and there. No, I mean like there is a jumping component. I've had moments where my character would jump multiple times when I'm trying to pick up an item. I've had instances where I would get stuck on a piece of the terrain in like really cramped quarters. So sometimes, depending on where you spawn, the environment changes obviously to match the spirit realm. In doing so, there are sometimes like in narrow areas, bodies that pile up or limbs that reach out. Yeah, try swinging a heavy weapon in there when you can't move because the way the hitbox works is you take a step forward, you swing it, and then, oh shit, my guy's not moving anymore. Haha. That's not great. The other not great thing is, like, I don't know why, and I really hope not, but there are still a couple of moments, the Spurn Progeny, for instance, it was not a fun boss fight. And there are moments where I will fight a boss and their attacks are just so I don't want to say like it's just jank. Like it's a weird delay and then they swing at you or there is a brief weird window at the combo. Don't even get me started on a deer's boss fight. That wasn't even a boss fight. That was I kill two slaves, his avatar comes back, and then that's that. It wasn't really hard either, but this is kind of just me saying this because I have to. This is definitely, at least in my opinion, the EA of Souls likes. And what I mean that is you have a journal that you can point you in a direction with hints. Your lamp has a feature where it will point you towards a vestige. Vestiges are the bonfires in the game. Oh yeah, that going back real quick, another thing that I thought was kind of interesting is that you could create your own mini bonfires with vestige seeds, but we'll get to that in a minute. There is what's the best way to put it? Shit. I forgot what it was. Yeah, I don't know. It's just having a like a map marker that points you where to go in a game like that, which is funny because the exploration is probably better than other Souls likes I've seen. It's just kind of like eh. Now let's circle back to that multiplayer component real quick. So I mentioned that there is, co-op, which you can do with a friend, but there is a invasion component. It fucking sucks. It's ass. Don't do it. I tried about 2 to 3 sessions of it. Now, I will say I was not in, I would say, an invasion outfit or loadout or any of that. I just wanted to try it out. But I maybe walk 2 steps and I get ganked by a squad. There's maybe a moment where I move around and then 2 seconds later, I cease existing. The people who play in that game mode, especially now at the player counts, like actually, yeah, yeah, you're looking at about 1,700 players. So the pool itself is not exactly, relatively speaking, the highest for invasions. But if I just punch in Dark Souls here, not three. How many players on like just normal remastered? Yeah, there's more people on the original Dark Souls remaster than there are Lords of the Fallen 2023, which is funny to me, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, no, it's just You can have damn near an unlimited amount of items in your inventory due to a duplication glitch. There's no real way to balance against higher level players. And it's just like, I don't know, it's a neat feature. I just really wish I didn't have to fucking invade in order to get access to this currency that would allow me to buy really cool drifts. So another thing you could do in the game is there are three major faction sort of shrine areas that you can visit. There's one that rewards you for helping players out in co-op. So going around doing bosses with them, that type of thing. There is a shrine that is dedicated to avenging fallen players. So when you spawn, you'll see like a red corpse outline. If you activate it, it will lead you with a trail of moths to a enhanced enemy that if you kill, you get extra souls from them, but you also manage to get access to the currency that's dropped. And then there is invasions. As I've established, invasions are ass. I don't like them. They are dookie. But you get the currency for that as well. And again, like if that's your cup of tea, that's fine. I don't mind that. But getting ganked at the fucking Fitzroy's Gorge because I took 2 steps and just got booped. No, I don't like that. That's annoying. I was feeling bad. The enemy variety as well, not exactly really there. So there is a boss that you fight, like it's the first guy you fight in the game. The second you get out the door, it's a big ass guy wielding a mace. He swings it at you and whatnot. Okay, that's fine, whatever. Later on in the game, you run into another guy that uses the same moveset. Okay, and then another, and then another. The difference is they are reskinned, and that's about it. A bought so like for instance, to get into the Fief of the Chill Curse, which is the snow area of the map, you fight a Viking with a big axe and the 2 frost dogs. And what was originally, in my opinion, like this really cool way to kind of get you hyped up for the next area, it just turned into, all right, this enemy is now, I'm going to be facing them for the 3rd time in a row. They're just slightly enhanced. Yay. Amazing. And again, there's nothing really wrong with reused enemies. It's just, I'd like it maybe sometimes if there was more variety every now and then. Like, the Rogar in particular, they're an interesting concept as far as an enemy is concerned. They were made by a deer to combat the disciples of Orin when a deer was actively trying to fight and get himself back put in place. It's really kind of interesting because it is a corruption of decay and rot that is spread in throughout Mornstead. Twisted, deformed, vegetation is dying off. There's a sickly area. And then on top of that, individuals like humans with prolonged exposure end up suffering and exhibit symptoms as a result of that. Things like, oh, I got discolored skin too. Oh my God, I'm a monstrous being. And you're going through these areas that are infected by it. And it's so fucking neat. But you see maybe like the same axe wielding maniac for like the 8th time and you're like, that's kind of like, eh. Now, there is an enemy, though, that I really like originally, and then it turns out he was also is just a reskin version of a different enemy, which is unfortunate. There's this fine gentleman called the Light Reaper, and he actually appears in the cutscene when you get revived. He kills the guy from the previous light bearer, the lamp bearer that had the lamp previously before it went to you. Yeah, he fucking kills him. And what I thought was very funny, he shows up on throughout the game at like different encounters. And he wants your lamp, but obviously he's not going to get it because you keep fucking dying. Now, what I thought was really goofy is the first time I saw him, he fucking absolutely cooked my ass. Second time I saw him, I almost got him, but he killed me. And then the third time around, put him in the ground, called it a day. But the the neat thing about it, based on what I've seen on the wiki, is there is a high amount of, at least in the first two instances, you can possibly kill him. And you'll get his remembrance and everything, which you can then use to loot and bring back things. So, another minor thing that I did actually like over Dark Souls is once you kill a boss, it's not that you need to spend their soul in order to get access to the equipment. Like, once you kill a boss, you have the remembrance permanently for the rest of that playthrough. However, in order to get the items, in which there was a great variety of them, you need to get a currency that you get from actually just interacting with souls on the map and also by killing other bosses. And I thought this is just really neat. So if I want to get more of this currency, I have to actually absorb the soul of a previous victim and see it play out in front of me and get more lore on the world. And then I can go and buy my fancy pants that I got from this one guy who killed himself. Oh, I want to say, like, as far as bosses that I thought were pretty fun, Tankard was definitely a pretty good one. The corrupted hollow, like captain of the Hollow Knights, whose entire thing is that he was actively struggling against his brother, his parasitic brother, who was slowly corrupting him into something that he was not. So he gets more and more unhinged in fighting. And then there was the Judge Cleric Radiant Sentinel. Now, this boss was fucking awesome. It wasn't, I would say it wasn't anything like super like crazy, but what I really liked about it is it's an idealized version of, it's an illusionary self of the Judge Cleric, who is actually, when you shift the thing after killing her, a Rogar corrupted Hellspawn. And then it swaps from her dealing like radiant damage and smite to her building ignite and burn stacks on you, because she is now this hideous looking creature that would have nothing more than to kill you. But I guess to kind of draw it out, because we are kind of nearing the minute mark here, at the end of the day, if you're looking for a Souls-like to sink your teeth into that is not bad, it's decent, but I wouldn't call it great, and if you really enjoyed it, it's pretty good. I would definitely give Lords of the Fallen 2023 a good run for your money. It's got interesting lore. The combat, while it's not amazing in Melee, the freaking ranged and variety of magic really does deserve kind of its own sort of category in of itself. It's not as expansive as Elden Ring, but it's responsive, it's snappy, and it actually feels pretty good to use in all things considered. I'm probably gonna do a Inferno build on my next new game run. But like as far as complaints are concerned, like yeah, it's still a bit of a buggy mess. Like when I completed my damn run, I was getting achievements on veteran difficulty. I didn't put the game to veteran difficulty. I put it to the default difficulty that they wanted you to intend to. And then there was a bunch of nerfs to difficulty on top of that. But look, honestly, I recommend it. It's a pretty fun little experience, and you can play it with a friend for free. Try, if somebody already owns it, harass them to download it and play it with you. But yeah, honestly, that's just it, really. My name's Connor. This is Connor Talks Games. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you all next time when I talk about something. I don't know.